Hello, my name is Mordred Viking. I'd like to welcome you to episode 30 of this Let's Play European Universalis 4 as the custom nation of Stormwind. 30 episodes, wow, this is really impressive, and that we've actually survived that long and that you guys are still watching, so thank you very much for staying with us during this time. I thought that it being 30 episodes in, it would be a good time to take a look at the ledger and see how different standings are. You can of course see the score up here in the top right. We are third, with first in Diplo, 99th in military, so that should improve as we rebuild our army, and 6th in admin, which means we're making a decent amount of money. So let's take a look at the total army size right now. First place we have Guangdong with 93,000 men, and then Yugoslavia with 35. That is a massive difference, and I decided to investigate this because, I mean, just look at that difference in force limit. 122 to 57, and Yugoslavia themselves are a fair amount. Is that true? Oh no, there's a bit less of a gap, but they're still, wow, we're 4th in army force limit. Huh, impressive. So, Guangdong, who are they? Well, clearly a Chinese nation. They're this. If you think that Ming is usually bad, this is ridiculous. They are massive. Are they the... No, they are just a feudal monarchy. So they won't have the same autonomy problems that Ming usually has for being a heavenly empire, I think they're called. Something like that. So yeah, when we make it to China, if we make it to China, we're going to have this behemoth to deal with. So I really hope they never manage to westernize, because that would be just downright scary. They are massive. Japan's united too. And yeah, of course, now we can actually see all this stuff. So obviously explorers have made it over here, or we've just like heard from these nations. We are in the 1600s now, so it's not entirely surprising. I'm a bit surprised we can see Australia. Though I guess like Aleccio or probably Aragon actually has probably made it all the way over there. Although they don't have any colonies I can see, which would allow them to get that far. I guess it's just like hearing from like Tabastran, then Tabastran have heard of Kochkor, and then they've heard of Guangdong probably. So it just kind of spreads that knowledge. So armies, navies, total ships. We are in first place. Huzzah! Although we are not first place in heavy ships, unfortunately. We are in fact third. Guangdong has 8. Aragon has 9. Aragon being our main naval opponent. Although we are way ahead of the bunch in the number of light ships. So that is part of the reason we are making so much trade money. Galleys, Yugoslavia, not too surprising. They're basically playing the Ottoman game now. They have Turkey, they have Greece, they have the Balkans. They haven't expanded too much recently though. So they have a lot of galleys, Setsu, that was these guys, wasn't it? Yeah, I think so. Venetia, not surprising. Transports. A lot of people actually have a lot of transports, so there's a lot of like coastal warfare going on. Guangdong being in first place, then us and Jambi second, but there's a couple of people all kind of in similar area. Force limit wise, we are second after Guangdong. We are actually a fair amount ahead of Jambi and the rest, so our navy is going to be considerably bigger. And actually, speaking of heavy ships, we do only have 6 right now, but we have another 4 under construction, so that will bring us to 10, so we will be in first place. Wow, my voice is sounding really hoarse. I've got a bit of a sore throat. Hopefully that passes. The other thing which I usually look at is country. We'll take a look at total development. So Guangdong, unsurprisingly, is humongous. I really hope they get some role issues and break up a bit, because they are definitely the world superpower at this stage of the game. Then we have Yugoslavia, Wagadu, Ogden, Stormwind, kind of jostling for second place. We're only 38 points between us, and then it kind of breaks off fairly rapidly after that. Well, we have... Actually, no, it's fairly good curve, so all of these nations are really kind of in contention still. The other important stat, of course, whoops, not that one, is income. Guangdong leading the pack by quite some way, not surprisingly. And then us, we are second, and we are a fair amount ahead of everyone else, actually. We are like 9 ducats ahead, a month ahead of Aragon. They themselves are 7 ahead of Ogden. And then it kind of bunches up a bit. But yeah, that shows you why I wanted the English channel right there. Money. I think that's a decent overview. If you wanted me to look at any others, then I will do so. Just ask in the comments. The other thing which Azrael 3000 was asking was whether there was a way of pausing the game automatically if an enemy army came within a certain distance of you. You would find that here in message settings and then combat. These are the options. So as I said in my reply, you can do it when you get attacked or when they lay siege or anything like that, naval battles, or if we sink through attrition. But there's none if they get to a certain distance. I think the closest to what you want is if you lose an unfortified province, so that's like one without a castle or a fort, or if they when you lose or when one is occupied. What's the difference? I guess that's if you take one, and that's if you lose one, or if you get attacked. I mean, there's a couple, but there's none about if they're actually like entering your borders, I don't think. Yeah, these ones to me. So anyway, those are your options. I'm not going to turn any of them on right now, though I don't think I really need them. So, that is happening. Also, our colony is very nearly grown, and we did, last episode, manage to finish the Reformation. We are now fully blue, except for Essex, which is being converted. Even Holland and Zeeland, Antwerp, sorry, have been converted, although apparently reforms are now trying to force convert Antwerp through a centre of Reformation. The Reformed ones are the only ones still in existence. There are no Protestant ones left at all, and they are still being very active, actually. So Protestantism is shrinking, as is Catholicism, though not nearly as quickly, and Reformed is growing quite strongly. I don't think I've ever seen, well, I've definitely never seen such a strong Reformed. It's quite impressive. We have a whole load of diplomats not doing anything. We should probably reinforce our alliances. Now that we share a border with them, yeah, we definitely need to reinforce with Picardy. Aragon, how are you feeling? 70, we'll send one to you. Sweden was the other one. Wow, Sweden is hurting. Yeah, we definitely need to do a little bit of alliance maintenance right there. Next tick, that colony should be complete. There we go. So this is our second colonial nation, Care Fireflow, starting to build a couple more armies. This will mean that we have another colonist available. Yes, we do. We were going to start building here to block them off. We'll do that. And then probably there next. And then that will mean that they have to take those three. And then probably start up here a bit more. Oh no, they have bypassed us. Bastards. Oh well, we'll basically surround that one. I'm pretty sure that we'll get pretty strong showing down here. At least that is my intention. Alecchio is expanding a little bit. And we still need to work on that. Lübeck is fabricating a claim on Antwerpen. How dare you, Lübeck? How dare you? Oh, and I can get some cores now because the religions have been converted. And we are at 0 war exhaustion, so I will do that. Holland I will do first, and we'll wait a little bit. Not too long for Antwerp. Nobles demand compensation. 311, which I can actually afford for 5 loyalty. Yeah, do it. Which is immediately followed by renewing a bunch of loans. We are almost at 5% inflation again, but we are knocking off 0.2 a year, so I'm not too worried about that. Interest, however, is still very high. We do need to deal with that. We could get another advisor now. It's a level 1, that's much better. I'm quite happy to get a level 1 diplomat. Means that we lose a little bit more money, but we are making a significant income currently, so that's fine. You have been completed. Head over to Essex, please. We are refilling our manpower pool quite nicely. We can start rebuilding our armies. So this is the first colonial nation event I think that we've had. I'm just going to merge these ships while I'm thinking of it. There we go. So we can choose to either increase the tariff value by 5%, which will upset... Oh no, it doesn't upset them. That's why it's better to do these through the events rather than straight away. So you do have various interactions. So this is with Care Fireflow. We can increase tariffs, or increase it by 5%, but it also increases Liberty Desire by 5%. However, we can increase the tariffs just straight off without that Liberty Desire increase. So I think that is what we will do. I do believe that the higher the tariffs, the less money they themselves make, but I want them to make me money, so I don't really care. I'm going to raise the tariff while I can. That should shoot up to 17. There we are, and I now make a bit more money out of them. Colonies do become really quite lucrative later on. What is their Liberty Desire? really not very high. That's totally fine. Okay, cool. Once I've paid off the loans and things, I may give them some cash injections of my own just to help them grow a bit more, either through a subsidy or through just like straight up gifts. If you send them a gift, they do get the money. Do I want to start rebuilding my army, or do I want to start or continue repaying the loans? I think I'll remain on repaying loans. Our army is very, very small, so we are looking quite vulnerable and quite weak right now, but we do still have a massive navy. So if anyone does declare war on us, we can just keep them out, blockade them, basically do what we did to the Netherlands, although blockades won't be the war score, but that will give us time to rebuild the army and respond. Picardy and Aragon have been done. That was very quick, but I am of course playing on a very high speed setting. Marienburg, you still don't like me. You don't want an alliance? Yeah, not even close. Not too sure what to do with this fourth spot. I think I'm just going to improve relations with various people just to kind of stave them off from attacking us. So I'll improve with you and with you. I'm surprised I can't make you a rival, actually. That's Brittany I'm talking about. Calabria and Aragon. Antwerp has become reformed, so I need to wait until the religious zeal penalty wears off. That one in 30 years' time, so I can't convert that for a long time. How's that hurting my unity? Not massively. Losing 7% because we've got two provinces, two very big provinces, admittedly, which are not embracing us. And I can change one of these, which was missionary strength, wasn't it? No, it was discipline. Oh, I changed that already. I am still quite happy with those choices. I just want to have a look at what the other options are. Prestige, nah. Manpower covering, nah. The only possible one would be idea cost. Speaking of ideas, one is available. That is Diplo. We are way ahead of time there, so I'm quite happy to take that. Okay. So we have finally finished this, which means build costs are now 20% cheaper. So if we wanted to invest some money in building up our provinces, which isn't actually a bad idea. So for instance, if we wanted to get some temples down, which would increase our direct tax income, like that would be plus 0.5, 0.2, this is plus 0.5, 0.3. That's actually really, really tempting. And I do still need to get some markets down here, but that is not vital. We do already have them over there, which is good. These are still a bit out of our price range, the manufactories. Production improvements. Well, again, production's just not worth enough money. Unless you have like a gold mine or something, in which case perhaps it is, but the improvements are minuscule. Ooh, I could actually build trade depots. Getting a trade depot here in London with plus 11 trade power would be quite nice. However, we do have such a dominant presence here. I'm not too worried about a couple of little percentage more. Wow, we have 100% trade efficiency. Nice. That basically means we are doubling the amount of money that we get. And we gained a conquest CB against the Netherlands thanks to an event, but I'm not too bothered about that. We probably have quite a long truce with them. 1622, 9 years. Gascogne no longer considers Picardy a rival. I'm not surprised. Gascogne's quite small. I think even if Picardy did manage to unite all of this, I still wouldn't be too worried because they just seem really poor. I have like 3 wealthy provinces. 4 if you count Calais, 5 if you count Provence. But look at the amount of red there compared to up here. We have a lot more of the orange and yellow and several greens. Could always do with more greens. We basically just need to invest more into development, but we just haven't had the chance yet. Military free subjects. However, I think we do want to get this military technology so that we retain our advantage. We are still ahead of time in Diplo. We could continue getting these diplomatic ideas, the next one being the Grand Navy, which would increase our force limit massively. Do we really need that though? I'm not too sure. I'm quite tempted to start trying to get some development going. How much does it cost right now? I usually do it in order of price and then start building up from the bottom. So Lethane would only, yeah, it's all fairly cheap. And it would we can make it quite a lot cheaper because we can get another, what is it, 7% if we got our clergy influence up above 60, which is not impossible. We could change one of our tenets because we do have more than enough church power, so I'll probably get rid of discipline briefly. In fact, I think I will do that. I'll switch out discipline for the development cost, so that's another 5% right there. Plus, of course, we have our national idea, one of the very, very first ones which we just haven't been able to use yet. So how can I get their influence up? I can do the interaction, which I lose a little bit of prestige. Oh no, it's not them, is it? It's Berkers. So I need to get 5 more loyalty. I can do that quite easily. That one, that would bring their influence up too high. Gains 15 influence for settler increase. That would bring it up to 80, which is dangerous. I don't want to do that. That would lose loyalty. I don't want to do that. It would have to be this one, so that would bring them to 65 and 75. I'm going to do it. So now we have that development cost. So we can start investing in development, which means I'm fairly tempted to get more admin points. And the reason for that is that increases the tax income. And I'd be quite happy to actually fall behind in... Oh! No, we want this technology because that means that development efficiency is even cheaper. And we can start getting universities which further decrease development costs. So we're going to wait for level 7. So we are going for the bureaucrat. We're going to repay that loan. We're going to recall him. We're going to get this level 17 admin tech. So we are now going to start focusing on that. Once we have that, then we will start really doing some radical development changes. Dissolution of the monarchy, monasteries, not the monarchy, because we don't have a monarchy. So this increases stability costs, which are kind of irrelevant because they're so expensive for us anyway, and increases the amount of tax money we make. Yes, please. We can get a policy. More tariffs. Nah, not really worth it at this point. Continue. Ah, we have another ship. Good. So, mothball, select all, deselect transport, merge. Technology, military, yes please. So the next level we have new cavalry and new artillery. It's a fairly big one, but it doesn't increase tactics, which is always kind of the most important. So we could get 20 army tradition, which is decent. But it loses us a bunch of money, which would include taking another loan, which I'm really against, or lose some prestige. I don't really need the army tradition. I'm not at war, so I'm going to decline that offer. I'll take the prestige hit. Prestige does, of course, normalise, slowly but surely. Unfortunately, our power projection's fallen below that. Oh wait, who are my rivals? It's Venetia, right? Because I could be doing an embargo against them, which would actually give me some bonus power projection. Let's take a look at... Whoops. Yeah, it is. So Venetia, I need to embargo you, which should increase the amount of power projection. Yes, it does. Only +1 though. We're getting more from the Netherlands. They cannot embargo us because we have a truce together, but because we had an embargo before the war and we won the war, it means that our embargo continues. Trade wars just lose diplo power. Well, thank you. We'll recall you. Who else is powerful? Brunswick was a serious thorn in my side. So part of the reason I'm raising relations here is if we do get into a war with a nation, then there is a chance that their allies will not join the war against you if they like you enough. It's not a very big chance, but if they're already kind of ambivalent about the war and you have high relations with them, then they may not. And it's always good to cut down the number of enemies you have. Unless, of course, you're kind of declaring war as part of a plan to take them over. So nobility lost influence, sorry, loyalty. Oh, that was a permanent loss. Wow, that was painful. Because we've been kind of consistently raising the loyalty of the nobility, but well, it's unfortunate. And Picardy has declared war on the Netherlands. Picardy is fighting Netherlands, Lubeck, Liège, Brittany and Brunswick. Picardy, Aragon. That will be much closer, because as we know, the Dutch can actually raise quite a significant army. And yes, Picardy has Aragon on their side, but they're bringing Aragon into a lot of fights. Aragon might not be as strong as they usually are. Wrong buttons. Clicking too much. There we go. We now have 9 heavies. We should have the most heavies in the world. Okay, Aragon are bringing up 43,000 plus the 28 actual Picardy and Savoy on their side. Yeah, Savoy is. So it's quite large. Okay, so maybe it's not going to be quite as one-sided as I thought, but I think the Dutch will still put up a pretty big fight just because they're allied with like these two. And we know from experience Brunswick has a significant army. Okay, here's the first fight of the war. It's only because Aragon arrived they'll probably win that one. Wow, they're bringing in 69,000 men. Yeah, okay. That will be quite one-sided, and not the way I thought it would be. So that core construction is almost done. I very nearly forgot to actually do Antwerp. I still must do that one. Holland has now been cored, so we should make quite a lot of money from Holland. Although their autonomy is still very high, that is decreasing over time, which is fine. How close are we to this? We are expected to get this in 2 years' time. Good. Colony still growing. Missionary not able to convert yet. No. And we have got diplomats free. We lose another 5 loyalty or 25 prestige. No, I don't want... It's completely bombing my prestige. I've not even done anything bad. Are you guys getting any more trade percentage? Cape Verde. Nope, 7%. I'm pretty sure I need higher. In fact, can I even do that as a Diplo action? Justify trade conflict. I must have at least 10%. Hang on, let me reset. Okay, so apparently I need to have a merchant here, and it's currently out of my trade range, so I couldn't do it anyway. But I need to have 10% trade power, they need to have 20%. So I probably could do it against Wagadu. Let's take a quick look. Yeah, so Wagadu have 22%, so I could do it against them. And grab, like, Senegal Estuary. Is that theirs? Yeah, it is. How big is the Wagadu army? $30,000 men, or 47 total. I would basically need to send my entire army. They do have, we are now like 4 techs ahead of them. So that military gap is growing. And it's only territory I want from them. I don't really want to protectorate them, I don't think. It'd be too big. Actually, does size matter for protectorate? Not entirely sure it does. Okay, mothball. Merch. 10 heavies, lovely. Though some of them are a bit old. But only 1 generation. 1 generation isn't a massive deal. But as soon as the next group come out, I will definitely have to upgrade them. And when is that? Next ones are level 19, so 2 technologies away. But that is still like 50 years off, I would say, at a guess. So Care Tempest just gain 10 Liberty Desire because they have created their own assembly. I think that happens if they've been around just for a certain amount of time, or if their economy grows to a certain amount. We are starting to make some money from tariffs though, more than 1 ducat a month. Not a massive amount, I know, but hey, every little helps. Ooh. So we can lose 5 Republican tradition for 2 mercantilism, or we can have him leave. I'm actually quite happy with that deal, because mercantilism is hard to get. I'll have to extend that loan. So mercantilism is currently at 16.5%, which is increasing the amount of trade power by 16.5% now. That's the amount that we actually have. That's really unhelpful. It's not actually... Oh, there it is. Just had the mouse slightly in the wrong place. So yeah, they are improving the amount of trade power we have in our domestic provinces. So these ones in England plus these two by 33%, which is actually really, really helpful. So our percentage here should have shot up here, an extra 3% just for free, 4% for free. I can't really complain about that. We are making 18 a month now. Beautiful. Our trade income just keeps on going up. Although we do still have 13 loans. We are paying them off. We were up to, what was it, 18, I think? Recall you. We have 2 free diplomats again now. Who else do I want to make friends with? Natives in our smaller colonies. That's going to lose like 100 people. We could improve with the Leccio, actually. There it is. And the Palatinate. Why not? Just keep our diplomats busy. Damage. Yeah, they did about 100. About less than 100, I think. So Savoy is done. We'll send him to Pilsen in 3 days' time. So Picardy has made peace with Liège. Liège will cede Rethel and give money. Well done. So yeah, Picardy is definitely about to grow fairly significantly here. The only downside about that for me is they're going to get a bigger percentage of this trade income because they'll start taking probably Flanders and Kent, maybe Breda, maybe Zeeland. I really hope they don't take Zeeland actually because, you know, I want it. And now that I have some provinces here, I can start actually fabricating claims on these. So we'll see what Picardy takes from the Netherlands, and then maybe we will start pursuing our own war against them. That's another loan repaid. University, so admin has just jumped up. We can get another national decision. Sunday schools, which increases our missionary strength for free. Yes, please. And now we can afford to do some development. We are actually ahead of time in their admin, so we are going to have 20% bonus production. So this should go up a bit. Not much, but a bit. End of the month. There we go. Oh, no, I didn't. Must already been applied. So we can start thinking about doing some development things now that this cost should be much lower. Yeah, see, it's dropped down to 20 per point in Lothain, which is ridiculously cheap, so we can start really investing quite heavily in this stuff. Yitik has grown self-sustaining, which means we have another colonist available. Great. Oh, they're growing really quickly down here, unfortunately. So we need to make sure we grab these top ones so that these are connected to that. So we want this one for sure, so we get the other side of the strait. We probably should grab this one as well, so we have both straits there. But we need these, so I'm hoping they kind of stay on that side of it. And the more of this stuff that gets colonized, the more money that's going to appear here, and the more money that should be pushed out. So where does one goes to Safi and one goes to Ivory Coast, right? Yes. It's all going to Safi right now. So do they have a merchant here? Yes, Aragon does have a merchant here, so they are pushing it all to Safi, and then Safi is pushing it on to Seville, which is why Seville's worth a bit of money now. We are still worth more. Inflation or Republican tradition? I'll take the inflation, because we do actually, we're pretty good at burning that down. They're still putting up a fight. And they did in fact just win a fight. Well done. But they are being occupied. Renewed another loan, so be it. Okay, so we're reaching the point where we really should start building more troops, because we're reaching our manpower limit. What is our mission right now? Beyond a certain point, I always kind of forget what these are. Improve prestige. That's not going to happen for a very long time. does give us a free stability though, which is always nice, so I'll leave it for now. Okay, so what troops do I need to get? I definitely need more infantry. I could do with some more artillery, but I might just grab like 10,000 infantry. So there we are, 10,000 more infantry. Brittany tells us the development of ironworking, which means iron becomes more expensive and copper becomes less. This is good, because we do actually have iron. If I look at the economic map mode and then the trade goods, it will show precisely what we produce, and we actually make a lot of iron here in Ayrshire, Derby, Norfolk, Gloucester and Glamorgan. So our production income should have actually improved. Yeah, one more ducat. Well, we're making some real bank here. That is going to go down because we've just built a ton of troops. But infantry aren't too expensive. So Picardy has beaten the Netherlands. They have taken Flanders, Henegouwen and Breda. That's unfortunate about Breda, but these are still available, so we can still grab those. So this is when our diplomats come into being handy again. So I'm going to have to grab one. So you stop relation improvement. As soon as he arrives back home, we will send him off to start fabricating claims. Picardy no longer considers the Netherlands a rival. They now consider Savoy a rival instead. Okay. So fabricate claim. We definitely want one on Zeeland, because that's the one that's going to connect our two territories, particularly now that we can't get Breda. They took Hilda as well. Okay. Another election. We want the admin guy. In fact, we want an admin advisor. I didn't even realize he died. We will take the stability cost just because he's cheap, and we will go for a bureaucrat. Yeah, that's fine. And now we can start doing some development. So we can do like 4 points probably. The thing to look for here is the income that you would get. So it says monthly income plus 0.013. It actually matters a lot less for these. The only thing that really improves it is if it's your capital or if it's got a temple there. So these should all be pretty standardly 0.13. Yeah, basically. It becomes more complex for trade goods because depending on what good they produce, that will modify the amount of production income you get from it. So it's 0.5 there, 5, 9. So Lincolnshire would be good for production. So would Cornwall. So basically anything that's above 0.8, I would say, is where we want to invest in production. Then manpower, there's a minimum plus if they have barracks. So manpower is another one you want to look at the different numbers. You can see the maximum manpower plus anything with more than 250, I would say, is probably decent for manpower. So Lothain is maxed out there. Do we want to save anything for military? Probably. So we don't want to improve military at this point, but Diplo and admin are probably both safe to do at this point. We will need to start saving Diplo because we want to tech up and keep our 20% trade bonus. The admin bonus I really couldn't care less about. So admin, I'm quite happy to invest all of it. I will invest all of my Diplo and then stop. So let's take a look. We have a 0.9 there. Let's do 2 points there. 0.8, we'll do 1 point. This was the 0.11, so Ayrshire we want to invest quite heavily in. Another 0.9. And that is all of our Diplo gone. We can now do some more of these. So we're basically just doing these cheap ones, except we're out already. Okay, cool. So that has improved our development a bit, and development is actually really handy. It makes a big difference. I would definitely have been doing it earlier had I been able to afford it. I just haven't been able to until now. But that's kind of expected. Stormwind was always going to be a late blooming nation. And we are definitely blooming now. The early years were tough. They were very tough. But we are in a very solid position to become a great, if not superpower. That colony is very nearly done. However, we are at our time limit. So as soon as I decide what to do here, we will be ending. Antwerpen has been cored. Great. That is very good. And I don't really want extra autonomy in Kent, so I will spend the money. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'm very happy to have reached 30 episodes, so here's to another 30 in the future. If you have been enjoying what you have been seeing, please do like and subscribe. It helps out tremendously in keeping this channel growing. If you have any tips or advice, please leave a comment, or if you just have any general questions about the game itself. I've played a ridiculous amount of this, so I know quite a lot. I wouldn't say I'm a complete master of it, but I can probably handle most questions. So please do leave a comment if you have any questions, tips or advice, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.